All right, Unit 1, Section 3. Section 3 we're going to divide into two pieces. First part, we're going to talk about midpoint formula. Second part, we're going to talk about the distance formula. It's two formulas. You got to memorize them. The first one we're going to talk about is midpoint formula. Okay, if we're looking at the bell work here, use the diagram, write true or false for each statement. So this is just reviewing our line segment ideas and what we know. MR is congruent to RT. MR is 5. RT is 5 and 1.5. That makes 6.5, so that would be false. Oops. Let's get a pen here. So that'd be false. OP is congruent to TR. OP is 5. TR is not even a thing, so false. I don't know how far TR is. Okay. Let's see. QO is congruent to RT. Why do people keep saying RT? Okay, RT is 6.5. And QO is 6.5. That one's true. So there's 5 of those. Oh, I'm doing them down the line instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do the odds. You do the evens. Okay, RT. Again, where the heck is RT? I don't see. I see RM. Oh, there, RT. There we go. Oh, okay, so we should say TR. OP to TR. OP, TR. Still false. Okay. R to T is congruent to Q to O. That is also true because R to T is this way, Q to O is that way, and they're both 6.5. So that would be true. All right, so pause it real quick. You try 2, 4, 6, and 8. Check and see what you get. All right, MR to RP. MR is 5. RP is 1.5 and 1.5, which makes 3. So that would be false. PR is 3. RS is 5. So that would be false. SR is 5, and MR is also 5. That's true. RP is 3. RT is 6.5, so that would be false. All right, in this little first part section, here's our learning goal. I will be able to calculate, let's see, use the midpoint formula. Use midpoint formula. That's going to be a couple of different things. We're going to be able to find the midpoint, but then we're also going to be able to find one of the points when given the other end and the middle. We'll be able to figure out where the other end stops. Okay. So the midpoint formula is used to find the midpoint between 2 points. The midpoint. Exactly in between. Equal on both sides. The midpoint formula. MP, midpoint, equals, it's going to be a coordinate because it's points. It's going to be on a graph. It's the middle. Okay. Midpoint formula. x1 plus x2 divided by 2. y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Add the x's, divide it in half. Add the y's, divide it in half. Basically, we're taking the average x and the average y. Okay? Average x and average y. Average is add things together, divide by how many? We're going to have 2 endpoints, so that's 2 things. We're going to be dividing by 2. Take the 2 we have, add them together, divide by 2, bam. So if we're going to set it up, I would do it as a fill in the blank. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So here we go. Find the midpoint of GH given G and H. G is 7, negative 5. The X is 7. Y is negative 5. H, 9, minus 1. Now, Mr. Maggart, why is one of them plus and one of them minus? Well, because back in our formula, Between them is a plus sign. So whatever sign the number is, positive times that, if it's positive times positive, it's going to stay plus. If it's positive times negative, it's going to be minus. So we can just carry the sign with it. This is different than the formula we just did where it was y minus y, and that negative negative changed the sign to positive. This time the sign comes with it. It's like the end of y equals mx plus b. Whatever the b is, stick the sign in front of it. That's what you need. So that's still a highlighter. Hold on. 7 plus 9 is 16 divided by 2. 5, negative 5, negative 1, going to get more negative. Negative 6 divided by 2. That is 8, comma, negative 3. That's the midpoint. If you need to, you could also graph it and see where the middle is. Like, just look where the halfway is. Okay. Find the midpoint of AB, given A is this and B is that. Okay, well, here's my thing. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Negative 7 and 4. And then plus 3 minus 4. Negative 7 and 3 is negative 4 over 2. 4 minus 4 is 0 over 2. So that's going to be negative 2, comma, 0. That's going to be our midpoint. Okay. All right, this one they gave us a picture. We don't know what the coordinates are, but we can find them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 6, comma, 1, 2, negative 2. 1, 2, 2, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 7. So we want to know where's the middle of that. It kind of looks about right there. So it should be something around negative 2, positive 2. So let's do the math. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Negative 6, negative 2, plus 2, plus 7. This is x's, those are y's. Negative 2 plus 2 is negative 4 over 2. Negative 2 plus 7 is 5 over 2. So that would be 2, comma, 5 over 2. Or, negative 2, there we go. Or negative 2, comma, 2 goes into 5 2 times with 1 left over. So we were close. My line sags a little bit, so it should be right there. If I'd have drawn a nice real straight line, I could tell. But that's why the math is better than actually drawing, because your drawing was probably going to be inaccurate just a little bit, and it may not get you the right answer unless you can intersect right on a dot. So be careful. Okay. Now, be very careful. If given a midpoint, you plug it in for M. I like MP better, but capital M is midpoint. Lowercase m is slope. But if given a midpoint, you plug it in for m and work backwards to solve the endpoint. So remember that m equals x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay. All we're doing is substituting things that we know. When they give us x1, comma, y1 and x2, comma, y2, we just plug those things in where they go. x1 goes here. y1 goes here. x2 goes here. y2 goes there. It's a fill in the blank. But if they give you m, the midpoint, okay, that would go over here. So midpoint 1, comma, let's say midpoint x and midpoint y. They give you the x and y of the midpoint. That goes on this side. So if they give you those, plug them in for those. Find the coordinates of j if k is the midpoint. So this is important. K is the midpoint. So I already know that it's supposed to equal, I already know that it's supposed to equal negative 5, 10, right? So m is negative 5, comma, 10. So when I set up my divide by, and I plug things in up here, and if you need to, draw a picture of it. Find the coordinates of J if K is the midpoint. So J is where I'm going to look. Don't know that one. K is in the middle and is at negative 5, 10. And L is at the end and is at negative 8, 6. I mean, that's not drawn to scale, but we know that's how the line's going to go. It may not be horizontal, but it's going to go like this. We need to know where is J. Well, there's a couple ways to do that. You could figure out what we need to do is what is the difference between these guys, right? Because that's how much it moved. We just need to keep moving in the same direction. So we went from 10 down to 6, or we went from 6 up to 10. That means we have to go from 10 up to, well, that was a plus 4. So then it should be 14, right? And then from negative 8, trace it in another color, right? Negative 8 to negative 5, we went plus 3. So since it's equal halfway, we should go plus 3 more. That'd be a negative 2. So it should be negative 2, 14. But let's do it mathematically and make sure. Sometimes we don't have the time to make the picture, right? So we know that it's going to be, excuse me. So if our M is negative 5, 10, that means that negative 8 plus X over 2, right? And then 6 plus Y over 2, those have to turn into it. So we're going to separate it into two equations. The x parts have to be equal, so negative 5 has to equal negative 8 plus x over 2. And 10 has to equal 6 plus y over 2. We have to solve for each one individually. It's a lot more difficult this way. Don't get lost whenever they give you the midpoint and an endpoint, and you just plug it into the thing as normal. You're going to find the midpoint of those, which is only the quarter point of the original line. So be careful. We're just going to solve. Okay, x is what we're looking for here. The thing furthest away is the 2. What's happening is it's dividing. To undo divide, we multiply. So I multiply 2 over here and multiply 2 over here. Negative 10 equals negative 8 plus x. Got to get rid of the minus 8. Add 8 to both sides. So that makes it negative 2 is what, I don't know why I put a comma there. Negative 2 is my x, which is what I had over there. Good. Let's figure out why. I'm dividing by 2. Get rid of that. Multiply by 2. 20 equals 6 plus y. To get rid of positive 6, subtract. So 14 equals y. So the end point is negative 2, 14. That is the point J. That is a long, crazy idea of what is happening, okay? But basically, the part that is the x has to equal the part that is, actually I'll do that in a highlighter anyway. The part that is x has to equal the midpoint part that is x. So we set up an equation. The part that is y has to equal the part that was y. So we set up an equation. That's all we have to do. Okay. So find the coordinates of A if M is the midpoint. So we know this is the midpoint. Midpoint is negative 1, 2. Okay. Negative 1, 2 of AB. So A B M is the midpoint. We know that's negative 1, 2. B is 3, negative 5. We could do the county way and just come back to figure out what A is. But let's check the math. Let's make the little formula here. So the x they give me is 3. The y they give me is negative 5. And I need these to match. The y and the y. The x and the x. So I'm going to set up equations. Okay. So negative 1 needs to equal 3 plus x divided by 2. And I'll do it in blue for the y. 2 needs to equal negative 5 plus y over 2. Solve for x first. Times by 2, because we're trying to get rid of that divide. That goes there, multiply by 2, negative 2 equals 3 plus x. Subtract 3 from positive 3, so those go to 0. X equals negative 5. So the x part's negative 5. In the y, again, always start by multiplying by 2 to get rid of that divide by 2. 4 equals negative 5 plus y. Add 5 to both sides, so 9 equals y. Doesn't matter if it's 9 equals y or y equals 9. Equals goes both ways, left and right. So 9. That is point A. Okay, and we can say A equals negative 5, 9. We could do it the county way. From 3 to negative 1, we went down 4, so we need to go down 4 more, which would be negative 5. From negative 5 to 2, let's see, I went up 5, 6, 7, so I need to go up 7 more. That makes 9. Negative 5, 9. And I see that number 6 down here is at the very bottom of the page, and that is just ungood. Let's see if I can move that guy. No, it's the whole frickin' thing. All right, well, let's just take it on to the next page anyway. I'm just going to create a new page. All right, so R, find the coordinates of R. So I have to find, let's see, R equals, what are the coordinates? Okay. If Q is 1, 3 is the midpoint, Q's the midpoint, so Q is in the middle. So if this is Q, and it was what? 1, negative 3? Negative 1, 3. Q is negative 1, 3, and it's in the middle. We're going to have endpoints. R is over here. We don't know. And P is 5, 6. P is 5, 6. We've got to find R. Okay. Well, negative 1 comma 3 has got to be equal to 5 plus x over 2 and 6 plus y over 2. So then we match them up, right? X to x, y to y. Make your equations. So negative 1 equals 5 plus x over 2. Multiply by 2. Negative 2 equals 5 plus x. Get rid of your 5. Negative 7 is the x, so negative 7. 3's got to be equal to 6 plus y over 2. Multiply by 2 both sides, right? Oh, I forgot to cancel that one. 6 equals 6 plus y minus 6. 0 equals y. 0. R is at negative 7, 0. If you want, we can check the math. Let's see, we can do the y's first this time. From 6 to 3 was minus 3, so we're going to have to minus 3 more. That gets me to 0. 5 to negative 1, we took away 5, we took away 6. If we take away 6 more from negative 1, we get negative 7. Works out nice. Okay. And that is midpoint. It's the thing in the middle. They'll either ask you to find the middle, you just do the average of the x's and the y's, or they give you the middle and an end, and you have to find the other end. Sometimes for me, drawing the picture is easier than doing the mathy part, but I showed you both. Okay, here's some extra problems for you to try. These are, again, find the missing end point if you have a midpoint. So you can draw it out, you can do the math, whichever way, but give it a try, pause, come back and check the answer. Okay, here we go. We got R to T. The midpoint's S. S is at 2, negative 1. R is at negative 9, 4. Really drawing it and counting it is, for me, easiest way. So we go from 9 to 2. So negative 9 up to 0 is negative 9, and 2 more makes 11. So we got to add 11. 2 plus 11 is 13. I'll switch colors just to help track. From 4 to negative 1, we went down 4, 5. We got to go down 5 more. Negative 1 to negative 5 is negative 6. Should be 13, negative 6. But let's just double check. The midpoint is supposed to be 2. I wrote all over it. Can't see it now. There we go. 2, negative 1 is supposed to equal, let's see, negative 9 plus x and 4 plus y. So 2 equals negative 9 plus x over 2, multiplied by 2. 4 equals negative 9 plus x, add 9. X equals 13. And then we got negative 1 equals 4 plus y over 2, multiplied by 2. Negative 2 equals 4 plus y, minus 4. Negative 6 equals y, negative 6. Again, I think the county way is actually easier than the mathy way. But the county way is not necessarily easier whenever you're trying to find the middle. It's always easier to add, divide by 2, take the average. Very easy that way. All right, so we got R, T, S is in the middle, negative 4, negative 6. T this time we know, negative 7, negative 3. So let's take her back. Negative 7 to negative 4, we added 3. So we're going to add 3 more. That would be negative 1. Negative 3 to negative 6, we subtracted 3. So we subtract 3 again. Brings us to negative 9. So R should be negative 1 comma negative 9. We can check it with the math. Negative 4 comma negative 6 should be equal to, these divided by 2, negative 7 plus x, negative 3 plus y. Match them up. Negative 4 equals negative 7 plus x over 2. Multiply by 2 makes negative 6 equals, right, negative 6 plus negative 7 plus x. Ooh, did I miss math? Because when I add 7, 1 equals x. Okay, let's see, make sure I set it up right. Negative 4 is in the middle. It is a negative 7 plus an x, da 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 da. Did I miscount? Negative 7 to negative 4, halfway point. So we went up by 3. Should get negative 1. I got positive 1. Interesting. Let's check that math out here in just a second. Let's see what happens with the y. Negative 6 equals negative 3 plus y over 2 times 2. Negative 12 equals negative 3 plus y. Add 3. That's negative 9. So my math is getting me one thing. Should be a 1. So which one is it? Let's see. If we take the point 1 comma negative 9, 1, it can't be a 1. So why is my math weird? Because 1, if it was at the end, 1 plus negative 7 would be negative 6, and half of that would be negative 3, not our midpoint of negative 4. 9 and negative 3 makes negative 12, divided by half is negative 6. So it's definitely negative 9 on that one. But why did the 1 come out weird? What's up with my math? I know I'm setting it up right. I have to add it no matter what. It's not negative x because they're plus. Divide by 2. Negative 4. Oh! There we go. Found it. 2 times negative 4 is not negative 6. It's negative 8, which gets us negative 1. There we go. See, everybody can make mistakes. Check your answers in your practice so that you learn from these mistakes and you make sure that your math is good. Like mine. 2 times negative 4 needs to be negative 8, not negative 6. That's how you get a negative 1. And there's the answer. Good luck. Slow down.